In the summer of 2010, a quiet flat in Edinburgh became the centre of a tragedy that would shock the nation. What began as a family dispute over custody was unfolding behind closed doors, unnoticed by those passing by outside. Inside, a mother and her 3 young children were living in isolation, cut off from the world. Then, in a single moment, everything erupted into chaos when reports of a gas explosion brought emergency services rushing to the scene. But what they would discover inside was far more disturbing than anyone could have imagined. A scene that would reveal a deeply unsettling truth and leave a lasting mark on everyone who heard the story. Welcome to The Morbid Minister, and this is the shocking case of Theresa Riggi. A family fracturing. In the summer of 2010, what happened to be an ordinary family life was quietly unraveling behind closed doors. Theresa Riggi, an American mother living in Scotland, was in the middle of a bitter separation from her husband, Pasquale. The couple had been living in Aberdeenshire with their 3 young children, 8-year-old twins Austin and Luke, and 5-year-old Cecilia. But as the marriage broke down, tensions escalated into a serious custody battle, with legal proceedings underway over who would care for the children. In July of 2010, Theresa Riggi suddenly left the family home, taking the children with her. For weeks, their whereabouts were uncertain as authorities attempted to locate them. Eventually, they were traced to a flat on Slateford Road in Edinburgh. At that point, they were believed to be safe. But behind the doors of that flat, something far darker was unfolding. The day everything changed. On the 4th of August 2010, emergency services were called to the Edinburgh property following reports of a gas explosion. Neighbours had heard a loud noise, and some had reported smelling gas. Others described seeing a woman fall from a 2nd-floor balcony. When police and firefighters entered the property, they made a devastating discovery. Inside the flat, the bodies of all 3 children were found. They were lying together, each having suffered multiple stab wounds. Investigators quickly realized that this was not an accident. Outside, Theresa Riggi was found alive but seriously injured after plunging from the balcony in what appeared to be a suicide attempt. She also had injuries believed to be self-inflicted. The explosion, it soon became clear, had been staged. A calculated and violent act. As investigators pieced together the events inside the flat, the full horror of what had happened began to emerge. Theresa Riggi had stabbed each of her 3 children multiple times in what the court would later describe as a sustained and deeply violent attack. Evidence suggested that she had used knives to carry out the killings, and the nature of the injuries indicated that the violence had been prolonged. After the murders, she attempted to cover up the crime by tampering with one of the gas supplies in the property, creating the appearance of an explosion. She then jumped from the balcony, apparently intending to take her own life, but she survived. During the investigation and subsequent court proceedings, a clearer picture of Riggi's state of mind began to form. At the center of the case was her intense fear that she would lose custody of her children to their father. Psychiatric evaluations later revealed that she was suffering from multiple personality disorders, including narcissistic and paranoid traits, as well as acute stress at the time of the killings. The court heard that she had developed an overwhelming and possessive attachment to her children, combined with a belief that no one else could care for them properly. This combination of factors culminated in a crime that shocked the UK. Trial and verdict. Theresa Riggi was initially charged with murder. However, in March of 2011, she pleaded guilty to culpable homicide on the grounds of diminished responsibility, the Scottish equivalent to manslaughter. At the High Court in Glasgow, the judge described the killings as ghastly and grotesque, highlighting the sheer level of violence involved. In April of 2011, Riggi was sentenced to 16 years in prison. For the children's father and extended family, the sentence brought some legal closure, but no true sense of justice. Just 3 years after her conviction, the case took another unexpected turn. In March of 2014, Theresa Riggi was found dead at Rampton Secure Hospital, where she had been transferred for psychiatric treatment. Her death was not treated as suspicious, and it was believed that she had taken her own life. She was 50 years old. The case that shocked the nation. The murders of Austin, Luke, and Cecilia Riggi remain one of the most disturbing family tragedies in modern UK history. 3 young children killed not by a stranger, but by the person meant to protect them. The case raised difficult and lasting questions about mental health, custody disputes, and the warning signs that can sometimes go unnoticed until it is too late. But beyond the legal proceedings and psychological analysis, what remains is a simple and devastating truth. 3 lives were taken in a place where they should have been the safest, and a tragedy unfolded that continues to haunt all of those who were affected by it.